Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. My name is Adam, and this is going to be another episode of my Shop Talk series. And today I decided to maybe go ahead and do a little tour of my granddad's toolbox back there. And I've had some people ask me about going through some of my toolboxes, and I've showed you a little bit. And my granddad's box and my dad's box both have been on my list to do. And I don't have a whole lot going on right now, and thought it'd be a good opportunity. It's Saturday night. It's usually when I like to try to do some of my filming, the Saturday nights out here. Kind of got the night to myself to get my work done and show some stuff on video. But this past week I really haven't had any good jobs to that I wanted to share on camera. It's just more of the routine stuff. Some of the stuff I've already showed you, a couple of little small jobs here and there. And I've been out here all day trying to get some of that stuff done, and decided we'll go ahead and I'll show you my granddad's toolbox. I thought it'd be pretty fun and pretty interesting. It's always fun going through them old toolboxes and looking and seeing all the little things that's in there and all the tools, all that old stuff. And honestly, I don't remember everything that's in that toolbox. I know most of what's in there, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember that's in there. And it's not a box that I go to very often. There's a few specific things that I do go to Granddad's toolbox for, but all the other stuff in there is just things that we have, and I rarely use them. So we'll go through it, and I'll show you what's all in that box. I think you guys might like that. So I've got a couple things here on the bench that actually belong to my granddad also that I already had out. I had another mic in this box here that I thought I'd show you. The first thing that I was going to show you, we've got two height gauges, and I've had them sitting up here because I was going to clean them up, and I really didn't get to them the way I want. But this is the first height gauge right here. Now this was my granddad's, and this is an old Sterrett, and I got the beam and the base here pretty well cleaned up and oiled, and I never did get to this. You can see it's still got a little bit of fine surface rust on it, but I put some of my Sterrett oil to help keep it from rusting anymore until I can get to it. I want to finish getting it cleaned up here real soon, but it's still in good shape, and we hardly ever use height gauges. And it's actually something that using these kind of tools on inspection plate, or like a granite surface plate, I've got a lot of the kind of tools that you do use on an inspection plate or a layout table. It's just not a practice that we were ever we didn't do it a whole lot. We really didn't have a whole lot of needs. A lot of our stuff was just kind of laid out on the workbench or on the welding table, what have you. And I've watched I watch all of Tom's videos, and Tom's got that really nice granite plate, and he's got a lot of really nice inspection tools and layout tools, and that's really gotten me wanting to start using some more of this stuff, some of the older school techniques, and being able to use these height gauges to set your height and use them to scribe lines across parts. I want to be able to do some of that stuff, and I've got a plan. I've got a small. Trying to remember what you call it. It's not a granite surface plate. I've got a small cast iron surface plate, and it's not very big. It's right behind you there, but I've got a bunch of stuff sitting on it, so I don't want to mess with it right now. I'll show that later in another video, but we do have a small one. It's about that long, so wide, and it's still in good shape. It's got a cover over the top of it, and I keep it oiled. So eventually, when I get this workbench cleaned off more the way I want, and more organization done, I want to have that set up where I can use it and it's ready to go anytime, and I can make use of tools like this height gauge, and I've got some other tools that I can use with it also. So I wanted to share that. This is my granddad's height gauge. This is a Sterrett, and I've got one more here that belonged to him, and this is a nice one too. This is a little bit heavier than the Sterrett, and this is a Lufkin, and it's been sitting in that toolbox for so long that when I finally pulled it out not too long ago, this right here is frozen up, this piece, and the bottom piece moves, but this piece right here is completely frozen up on there, and I can't get it to move. I've been trying to pull on it. I've been soaking it with penetrant, trying to get it to break loose. So I've got it just setting aside. I keep oil on it. Hopefully that oil will help get this broke loose. But I'm gonna get to this eventually too. But I wanted to share that. That was Granddad's, and this is a 12-inch Lufkin, and this is also this is the case that it goes in. This is the original case, and I think you can, if I get the glare out of it, you can see it right here. Lufkin Rule Company, Saginaw, Michigan, and it's a nice case. It's got that velvet lining in there, and it's a little dirty, but sits in there like so. So that's it's another one of my granddad's treasures there that I wanted to show you. Pretty neat seeing all these old cases, and no telling how long he's had that, how long this thing's been around, or how old the tool is. Here's another neat little tool that was my granddad's. That I had it in another box because every now and then I'd use it, but it's a little 1/2-inch micrometer, and I've got her pretty well cleaned up, and it's still in good shape, and it goes right back to 0. It says US on the bottom right there. I can't make out what's there, but this one right here is I believe it's a JT Slocum. It's a JT Slocum 1/2-inch mic, and I had polished this up probably a couple years ago and put it back in the box there. So that's another neat little mic that I don't really use it, but it's in good shape, and it's one of my granddad's old tools. That's the old original little wooden box that it come in right there. So I was going to show you that. Oh, what I was going to tell you is, you know, about Granddad's boxes. A lot of his tools that were in that box are not in that box anymore. They've been taken out. They were used all over the shop. They were put back in other boxes. So all of most of the main machinist tools that we used that were my granddad's, a lot of them have ended up in other places, in other boxes. I've got a lot of them in my dad's toolbox right here. I've got some of them over here in my toolboxes. So not everything is in there anymore, because we just, you know, it just got shuffled around. There is still a lot of stuff in there, and I'll show you. And his like I said, his toolbox, I rarely go to it. There is certain things that I go to it for. I got a drawer full of easy outs. I got a drawer full of big taps that I keep in there, and there's a drawer with air tools and things like that. So what we'll do is we'll go over there. I've got my light set up. I think you can see it. I hooked up a little spotlight so that I try to get plenty of light in there so everybody can see. Keep in mind I'm using the GoPro, so I don't have zoom, and if I get too close with it, it gets a little blurry and you can't see it. So I'm going to try my best, and I've got a new trick here that I'm going to share with everybody that I'm going to try out. I bought me a head strap for the GoPro. So what I want to try to do is, you know, I'm going to put this on, and the camera mounts right here, and you can position it how you want. You can tilt it. So what I wanted to try to do was use this so I can stand there and go through the drawers and look at things and show you what's in there, and maybe get a pretty cool point of view perspective, you know, from me. So the camera will be sitting right here. So we're going to give that a shot, and if you guys are seeing this video, that means that it turned out okay, and I think it was good enough to use. You know, when I do all this film, I'm going to check it out, and if it looks good, I'll make it. So I've been wanting to add this, and it's not something that I want to use all the time. I don't want to just wear it all the time, but I think there's some times that I might be able to utilize wearing this head strap where I'm running the lathe. I've had guys ask me about different things on the lathe, threading, stuff like that. And maybe I can use the head strap and get some cool shots to kind of mix it up a little bit. So we're going to give it a shot and just kind of be like Tesla video and see how it works. So, and there's some more accessories too that I want to get to go with the camera. And I've got some more things I'm going to get. Keith Fenner's got one of them Joby camera mounts. It looks like a little tripod deal that's got little magnetic feet. I've been looking at those online. I'm thinking about getting one of those and trying those out too. So we'll see. My wife decided to go ahead and buy me another GoPro camera for Christmas, and she's already got it, but I've got to wait till Christmas to get it. But she thought it'd be nice if I had another one. That way I've got two cameras out here, so I'll have two GoPros here pretty soon. And they've got a case that you can buy that holds both of the cameras in there, and you can film 3D video with it. So that might be another thing that I dabble with here in the future, is maybe trying to make a 3D video. So we'll just see. I got to do a little research, and my editing software can make a 3D video, but I've got to learn how to do it. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on about stuff, and I'm going to get strapped up, hook the camera up, and we're going to go down to Granddad's Toolbox, and we'll go through there, and I'll show you what's in it. Okay. All right, guys, here we go. I'm going to use my little app right here and make sure I'm getting the shot that I'm looking for. Make sure you guys are going to see all this. So I'm going to have this going too. All right, so here's Granddad's box. This is it. I guess what I'll do is I'll start with the top and I'll just work my way down. So, all right, let's see. We got you in here. All right, I think you guys can see this. So here's his top box. There's his initials, J.A. Booth, Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. Cool little sticker there. Off to the side right here, here's the indicator holder I've already showed you in another video. Here's another one like it too. So I've already touched on those, so I won't really go into detail. I guess I'll just go ahead and start with the top box here. I'm going to adjust this a little bit so that I'm making sure that it's looking down. Trying some new stuff out, so y'all just bear with me. All right, I'm gonna pull this out a little bit so I can open it up. All right, well, looks like a lot of paperwork up here. Got some books. Let's see, there's an old Brown and Sharp decimal chart, tap chart. There's going to be some other stuff in here. We'll go to that in a second. First thing I want to point out that I'm looking at right here is Burke Machine Company. I forgot that this was up here. Just like I told you, I forgot a lot of this stuff. Peak Machine was where my granddad started his machinist career. And it's got his names on it right there. James Booth, shop foreman. And this was a really old machine shop. I've heard a lot of cool stories about this place, and it's not in existence anymore. It's gone. But my granddad started his career years ago, a long time ago, at Peak Machine Company. And this is also where my dad started his career. Whenever he was 18, he got a job at Peak Machine. So that's pretty cool. That's definitely a neat little business card that I'm just going to keep in his box right here. And looks like he's got some other paperwork and stuff that he had saved. Civilian Personnel Department. Let me just pull one out and we'll I don't even really know what this stuff is. I don't know if I've ever looked in here or not. Hopefully it ain't some personal information that I'm giving away to you guys. That's 1970 right there. Notice of rating under the Navy Merit Promotion Program. I don't know if I want to go through this stuff right here, but that's pretty neat. Put that back. I'm just going to leave that alone and put his business card right there. And pretty neat little book there. Pratt & Whitney Aeronautical Vest Pocket Handbook. Looks like it's got a lot of neat info in there. There's a certification from Kennametal for my granddad, James Booth, at U.S. Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida. Has completed the in-plant training course conducted by Kennametal Incorporated. November 19, 1969. Wow. That's pretty cool. Just all kind of different paperwork that was all of his. He kept all his stuff in his box. Some more charts, some more personal paperwork of his. So I don't necessarily want to go through all this stuff right here, but you get a gist of what's up here. There's where he worked, Naval Air Rework Facility, also known as NARF. And I've got a plaque that they gave him whenever he retired. I'm making sure you guys got this in the shot. So I'm just, some neat books to read through. There's an old set of Brown and Sharp calipers right here. And they're broken. Yep. They ain't broken. I mean, they ain't working. They're broke. Hey, look at that. Tampa Nugget matchbox set. Still got matches in it. So, just looks like mostly a lot of paperwork. Starrett wrench for micrometer. So some Starrett wrenches up here. This looks like a very old indicator holder right here. Something like you'd use for a last word or a test indicator. So I think we're just going to kind of leave this alone. I don't really want to mess with this stuff too much right here. Look at this. This is an old prescription bottle that belonged to him. That's from 1969 from Goodwin's Pharmacy. Price $2.80. It still sounds a little high for back then. No telling what it was. Nice box. It's got the velvet lining, and you know, if any of you guys are looking at this and can recognize this box, I'd really like to know what kind of box it is, because it has no more markings on it. It looks like there was something right here at one time, but it's long gone. So I don't know if this is a Kennedy box or another brand. I suspect it might be a different brand, but I really don't know. But all right, so that's the top section. There's a mirror right there behind the letters. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that back up and keep that sealed up. And all right, I'm going to let me tilt you down just a little bit more. Let's see how this is going to work out. Okay, I think that might work right there. All right. Well, I messed up there. Okay, first drawer. Now, I will point out this is something cool right here. This is an old LS Starrett decimal equivalent chart. These are always real neat. Got the little wheels on it. I recognize this. This is from NARF. I don't know what it is. It might be like a sticker or something that he had put in there and never used. Another old decimal chart. This one's actually metal, piece of aluminum. Toyo Seiko Company. Huh. From Japan. Alright, you see there's really not a whole lot in here. Some old property of US government. There's a counter boring tool, some drill bits. Nothing too exciting in this drawer. There's an old center drill, the Bell style drill, center drill. Alright, I'm going to go over to this drawer. Now this is one that we do use a lot. This is where all of the ease outs migrated into this drawer right here. So all of our easy outs are right here, and whenever I need one, I just come over here and I'll pull this drawer out, take it over to the welding table. I keep one of my small tap wrenches in here. Mainly just all ease outs. There's a carbide router burr. There's some drills in here, a couple end mills, but basically this is all just ease outs right here. Alright, next drawer down, got a bunch of small drills, some more of those square style ease outs. What brand is this right here? I don't know what brand that is. I don't recognize it. There's one of them end mills that's got the straight flutes on it, carbide straight flutes. Got some carbide end mills right here. A little end of a boring bar. It's another end mill. Some more carbide end mills. There's a pin vise. Another thread pitch gauge. It's an old Starrett thread pitch gauge. Number 4. Hey, there's one of those. You guys know what this is? This goes in the end of a machinist square butt. That's the scriber that goes into the end of it. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was up there. I'll have to might have to find the square butt that went in. All right, so that was the second drawer down. All right, third drawer down this right side is a bunch of tool bits. But if you'll notice, we got an Acme thread pitch gauge here, and all of these tool bits right here are all ground for the Acme threading. And you see that? Those are all ground for cutting Acme thread. And the whole time that I worked in our shop, I always known you go to this drawer whenever you want to find a tool bit to cut Acme thread, and this is where we kept the Starrett pitch gauge for the Acme thread. And there is some other various tool bits that my granddad had made in here. This looks like that might have been a threading tool that he had made, and some other various tool bits. Just a bunch of different tools. Alright, next drawer now, let's see what we got. We got some more mics in here. That's the air compressor kicking on. The old ruler. And he wrote on there, Booth Machine Shop. The edge is starting to come out of there. That little brass piece of flat in there is coming out. I don't know what this is. It's a Starrett. Alright, you guys watching this that know what this stuff is, if I don't know what it is, let me know. So, I'm not sure what this is right here, but it is a Starrett. So, you guys can let me know if you know. Maybe Tom. Alright, there's another Starrett mic right here. That's a 0 to 1. North, US Navy. I think this is a Tomiko. Let's see. Yep, Shear Tomiko 0 to 1 inch mic. Alright, here's another Starrett. That's another Starrett 0 to 1 mic. This was my, well, actually, this was my dad's right here, Johnny. It's got Johnny Booth on the back of it. So that was my granddad's mic. Or I mean, I'm sorry, that was my dad's mic. I don't know why it ended up in that box, but like I said, a lot of these tools just got mixed up throughout the shop. There's a last word indicator. It's missing the end, the little contact tip, the level, some feeler gauges. Looks like some T-nuts that went to maybe a machine tool accessory. Here's a neat decimal equivalent chart made by Starrett, and it's metal. That's pretty neat. It's got all your tap drill sizes on it and your decimal equivalent on the other side. So just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some random stuff. This looks like this was a leather sleeve for a 6-inch scale. Look at that. All right, so that's about it for this drawer right here. Some more scales in here. Man, that's a thick one right there. That's a 9-inch scale. How often do you see a 9-inch scale? The fishtail thread gauge. Alright, we're going to go down one more. It gets a little bit more interesting right here. Alright. So here's my granddad's veneer calipers. And I really like these, and believe it or not, I do use these things sometimes. Alright, so this is the Starrett. This is the well, it goes to 7 inches. I believe this is considered the 6-inch. And you can see it's got my granddad's initials in it, JAB. Got on that side too, JAB. And he's also got the 12-inch. And this is one that I had actually used a lot growing up in the shop, because it's got the longer jaws. So whenever I needed a caliper to measure a larger diameter shaft, I would use this his old veneer right here. And you can see his name scribed right there, Booth. He's got Booth up there too. And this one right here, I've cleaned up a few times. I try to keep these in good working shape when I want to use them. See, it's got a lot of oil on it. I was trying to keep these from trying to rust on me, but they still work good. And like I said, I do grab these every now and then. Mainly this one whenever I want to use it to measure some larger diameter, because a 6-inch caliper doesn't have a very wide jaw on it. So I'll come over here and grab this. I'm gonna set these up here out of the way. Oh, I forgot to show these. I'll show that in a second. All right, this is an indicator holder that Junior made whenever he worked at our shop. He made all of this right here, and this was a indicator that was in our shop. He used all the pieces off another one. I know the screw and the nuts here that he had robbed off of a Starrett and used that to hold this, and I remember seeing him machine that. He made the end there, and you see it works. But what he had made it for, he could clamp this in the tool post and reach way up in a bore, like a pump housing that had a bearing way up inside of it, and he could use this to reach in there and indicate the bearing journal. So that's a pretty neat thing, and we've always kept it in this box right here. Here's some Starrett center finders. Nice set right there. I don't ever use these things either. I've got a few of these things in the shop. Another notebook. There's some more tool bits, some more parts for indicators, some snugs, some rods. There's some old pouches down here from drill bits, and they're trying to fall out on me. Chicago Latrobe. Some old drill packages. There's some more down in here. This looks like a Morse. Yeah, there's an old Morse 1/8 drill. I don't even think remember hearing that brand. Huh. Alright, so there's some tool bits. I'm gonna set these back over here. Here's a Lufkin, but there's some radius gauges right here. Yep. Oh, not in too good a shape either. I guess this is something I need to get to. I need to get these out of here and get them cleaned up and get some oil on them. That's a set of Lufkin radius gauges. Here's some dies for a geometric die head. That's 1/8 NPT. Some odd and end stuff right here. Here's a nice set of V-blocks, Starrett V-blocks. And he's got his name on there, Booth. These are real nice. You can still buy these from Starrett. And I used them a few times over on the mill and in the mill vise to hold some small stuff. It's got that rod on there. It keeps them in line. And I like the finish on these whenever they harden them. It's got that really pretty coloring to it. I keep these in his box because that's where they've always been. So I keep them in here, and I remember those are in there. Here's some more clamp. There's another clamp for another V block. There's another clamp there. All right, and you see there's some various tubes of cutters in here, some drills. There's a 60-degree countersink tool. Never been used right there. Made by Morse. There's another one there. That's a 90-degree. That one has been used. Some more tool bits. Hey, that looks like a drill like Tom just bought. It's a 5/32. That's probably a #1 Morse taper. Alright, so you see about what's in here. That's about it. Just different things. Alright, so that's the top box. Oh, let me alright, I'm gonna put the old veneers back in here. And this right here is something that's really neat. I've got 2 of these that belong to him. This is that was the top of the it went up on the top of the cover here when you flip it open, and it's sitting inside because it's all deteriorated and coming apart. All right, let me just set it right here. These are some thread triangles made by Montgomery Tool Company, and you've got some triangles here. All right, and then you've got a chart. This is the chart that come with it. Here's the you can see Montgomery and Company, New York City, USA. And this chart right here tells you how to determine your this is used for finding your thread pitch. But all you do is take whatever your nominal OD is. Say you've got a 1" 14 that you're cutting, and you don't have nothing to check it with. So you know your thread is 1 inch. And you come down here and you look at 14, it says 0.2918. You add that to 1 inch, and then you use your triangles. You stick your triangles on your thread and you mic over both of them, and that's what you're going to measure. And I've got another set of these that I took to my other job that's in a little better shape than this right here, and I use them quite often, and it works really good. This is a nice tool right here. And I let my buddy Gil look at this, and he says that they actually use an old eyeglass case. So this is really cool. I like, and I do use these every now and then. It's just a shame that it's all falling apart like this. So I'm gonna stick them back up in here.